Welcome to this tutorial on using IntelliJ IDEA's Smart Step into feature. In this video, you'll learn how to effectively debug your Java applications with this powerful tool. Debugging is an essential skill for any developer, so let's get started. Before we dive into Smart Step into, let's briefly discuss traditional debugging methods. Usually, when we hit a breakpoint, we use the step into feature to dive into the methods being called. But what if you're in a situation where multiple method calls occur simultaneously? In this case, the Smart Step into feature becomes incredibly handy. It allows you to choose which method to step into, streamlining your debugging process for complex code flows. Let's set up a simple Java project to demonstrate how to use Smart Step into. Open IntelliJ IDEA and create a new Java project. Name it Smart Step Example. Once your project is created, add a new Java class named main class. This class will contain our main method and a couple of other methods to demonstrate the Smart Step into functionality. In this code, we have the main method, which calls the execute method. The execute method calculates the sum of two numbers and then prints the result. Next, let's set a breakpoint. Click on the left gutter next to the execute method call in the main method. This sets your breakpoint, and now you're ready to debug. Run your program in debug mode by clicking on the debug icon or pressing Shift plus F9. When the execution hits the breakpoint, you'll enter the debug perspective. Now, at this point, you will see the current thread and call stack on the left side. You have a variety of options available to you. Let's start with the traditional step into action, which you can do by clicking the green arrow with a small arrow pointing down icon, or by pressing F7. If you do this now, you will step into the execute method, and the debugger will begin to execute line by line. This is fine for simple cases, but let's see how Smart Step into can enhance our experience. First, we will continue our debugging session until we reach the point where the calculate sum method is called. Now, instead of using the traditional step into, let's focus on the Smart Step into feature. To use Smart Step into, you can press Shift plus F7 or right-click on the method call and select Smart Step into from the context menu. This brings up a dialog box listing the methods available to step into, allowing you to select which one you need to investigate. So in our case, when we select Calculate Sum, the debugger will step into that method, leaving the other method calls untouched. Now, look at the call stack. You will notice that you have entered the Calculate Sum method. Step through it line by line, and watch how the values change. After this, we still have print result as our next method to step into. To exit the calculate sum method, simply step out by clicking the green arrow with an upward arrow icon or press Shift plus F8. You will return to the execute method. Next, when ready to step into print result, you can invoke the Smart Step into again. Notice how this lets you step into only the method you want without cluttering your debug flow. As you can see, the output will be printed to the console as you step through the print result method. This shows how Smart Step into improves visibility into your method calls. Now, let's talk about some best practices when using Smart Step into. First, make sure your code is structured in a way that allows for simplified debugging. When methods are too lengthy or complex, it can be harder even with tools like Smart Step into. Additionally, use effective naming conventions for your methods. When you invoke Smart Step into, a descriptive name allows you to easily identify the method you want to dive into. Lastly, keep your IDE updated. JetBrains releases updates with enhancements to their tools, including debugging. Regularly check for updates to ensure you have the latest features. Now that we've covered how to use Smart Step into, let's explore some additional features of the IntelliJ IDEA debugger that might be useful. For example, using variable watches can be incredibly beneficial. You can set watches by right-clicking on a variable and selecting Add to Watches. This allows you to monitor the values of specific variables as you step through your code. Moreover, if you run into issues where your code doesn't seem to behave as expected, you can always evaluate expressions on the fly using the Evaluate Expression feature. You can open this window by hitting Alt plus F8 during debug mode. In the Evaluate Expression window, you can enter any Java expression and inspect its value as you're debugging. To summarize, Smart Step into is a fantastic feature for navigating complex code during debugging. It allows precision when stepping through methods, targeting only what you need to examine. We went through setting up a simple Java project using SmartStep in 2 and discussed best practices and other useful debugging features in IntelliJ IDEA. Thank you for watching. If you found this tutorial helpful, please consider liking and subscribing for more programming tutorials. Share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future videos.